Hello guys, welcome to weekly outlook here on gold, the pound USD, the USDCAD and the DXY. I'm quickly going to start with the DXY here. So last week we saw this push from these regions down to this point, and it shows more like a bearish movement for the DXY. But on the larger time frame, if you look at the daily, we've seen what's going on right now. So basically, going forward, what I'm anticipating is probably a continuation to the downside. Maybe price coming back into the 102, 101 regions. On the 4 hours time frame, this is what I'm anticipating. I want a pullback, maybe to these regions of 102.75 or even something around these regions. Then we'll continue to the downside, retesting 101.75 and possibly 101.40 or even 101 entirely. So basically, if that's going to happen, if I'm anticipating a continuation of bearish movement on DXY, that leads me to an expectation for gold to actually pop to the upside, breaking this this strong resistance is created at 1966 and possibly breaking 1985. Well, that be that as it may, for gold, what I'm anticipating is two things: a break of these regions to the upside, and basically a break of these regions to the downside. This is what I'm anticipating this week for gold. Yes, so basically let's look at and see how I'm very much confident though for the buys around a break of 1985. Surely we will see a retest of 2010, and a break of 1935 we will definitely probably see a retest of 1890. So that's that on gold. On pound USD, we've seen that strong push, and if we look at it from the daily time frame perspective, we've seen how price has broke over a very strong resistance zone. It was here back in May 2022, retested, April 2022, May 2022, same thing. Towards the end of May, it created a double top and dropped, and then back again here in May 2023, we've seen price retest that same strong resistance zone. Going forward, we've seen price break it. So what I'm anticipating is a continuation to the upside, probably price coming back to 1.30, 1.3000, right? So for that to happen, going forward, two things I'm anticipating. I need a pullback. All right, I need a pullback. And if we slide into the 1 hour time frame, if I'm going to pick up where price pulled away from, or let's just put it back on 4 hours. If I'm going to put a Fibonacci retracement to right here, what we'll be anticipating is maybe a pullback to this region's perfect 50% retracement zone or an extension to 61.8, and then we can pick up orders and go to the upside. I'm very much bullish now on pound USD going forward. This is why. So this is what I'm anticipating, and that should be more like a pullback to these regions, and then we'll continue to the upside. All right, so that's basically what I'm anticipating this week for pound USD. But for the counter trend trading might probably be when I see a good structure of rejections here, maybe a double top here or an inverse head and shoulder pattern where price will break above these regions a little bit and come back below to create a head and shoulder pattern, and then we can go short. So basically that's what I'm anticipating for the pound USD this week. It's funny, anything else can happen. If price breaks below water, breaking this upward trend line, maybe we could see a possibility for price to start going to the downside. That means from around this region, this is what I mean, maybe price breaking below this region and starts creating lower lows and lower highs. Maybe we'll come back to 1.23, but at this point I'm looking very confident to go to buys, but a little bit of pullback, and then we'll continue to the upside. And lastly, here on USDCAD, I'm very much bearish now. On the daily time frame, last week we anticipated price to probably reject these regions and continue to the upside, but we've seen how price have broken below and looking very bearish. So what I'm looking for is more like a retracement, just a pullback and a continuation to the downside. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame. Possibly if price can come all the way to these regions, possible, and I need it to be clean around that region, and then we'll continue to the downside. Let me take that off. So for USD CAD, I would want maybe like a pullback to these regions, creating like a double top, and then we'll continue to the downside. Price might even want to retest this region, but let's see how it goes. For now, for the counter trend trading on the 1 hour time frame, I'll be anticipating more like a structure to be formed here. If I go down more on the 15 minutes time frame, I could possibly see some strong regions here. So you break above, retest, maybe push back to the upside, retest this region for 1.3237 or even above, and then we can continue to the downside. Just have to watch how price plays, and then we'll see how we can, follow the trend and then possibly go to the downside. All right. So that's basically that on USDCAD. So USDCAD, I'm looking very much bearish because I'm looking more for a continuation of bearish movement here on the DXY. Maybe a little pullback here. Maybe a little pullback to this region. A little pullback to this region and continuation to the downside, or we could just get a straight movement to the downside here. All right. So I'll see you guys on Friday for the recap, and let's see how this week will play out. My best bias today, or my best setup today, is the pound USD. Let's see how that plays out. I'll see you guys on Friday. Enjoy the week. Back some peeps. Ciao.